There was this report that just came out about a bot farm that was exposed, that was like specifically tailored for narrative building, right? And we could all look at this and be like, wow, like, you know, political discourse is like bullshit or whatever, I didn't really take this for you to know that, if you're really paying attention. But yeah, no, it's interesting, AI and massive, fake accounts are sort of creating our narrative, pushing the political discourse, basically, creating our politics. And there's plenty of people talking about that. I want to talk about why. Like, what is the nature of our political discourse that a non-sentient mechanical machine can affect how it changes, its discourse types change over time or whatever, right? Like, think about it. Like, why can these robots do that, right? And I personally think there's many reasons, but I personally think that the main reason our politics can be easily hijacked or whatnot is because the interface between the subjects of politics, right, and the objects that create politics, like the people doing the politicians, the people in whatever context is being talked about, right? Their interface, right? Or the interface between whatever institution would regulate that and whatever rules regulate those institutions from the mass subjects. That interface, right? The way you do discourse, what we discourse, is still, I guess always has been, it's still narrative based. You know what I'm saying? It's a narrative. And that's not really the problem. The problem is that it's only narrative, actually. That's the problem. It's only narrative on the interface level. And the thing is, that's a problem because this is a democracy, or people vote for representatives, right? So when the nature of the interface between most people and the objects, I'm probably saying this wrong, is narrative based, then yeah, like any robot can just make shit up and say shit about shit, and intrinsically you're gonna fall for it because you're already in a narrative based sort of structure. So a narrative is what you're looking for, right? I mean, it's a little bit of that, we read the headlines but we don't really read the article type of energy, that we all do. It's a little bit of that. It's like an expression of that behavior, right? And that behavior is why an AI can tell you how to feel about political things. So I once again Sorry, I'm not gonna compare myself to the greats. Well, the almost greats. But I once again tell you that what our society needs, right? The only way that I see that we could not just solve the issues we have, but solve the issue of solving issues, right? Because that's really the issue, right? Once we have a structure, institution, systematic dimension, layer of political interaction, interface, on top of the narrative one, right? That's when robots can't tell you how to feel like the fucking stupid sheep that we are. You understand? Because a robot can only tell you what happened in the institution if that's its job. If all you're looking for is not someone to tell you how to feel, right? Because you're not a fucking sheep, right? If what you're looking for is just what happened and you believe that you are capable enough, right? To be like, I understand it, I will make my opinion, right? And there's also a level of, you have to be an honest actor, right? And I know that's hard to imagine yourself not being an honest actor because, again, we're narrative-based political fighters, right? So like we can't really be completely, honest, right? But if you are looking for the truth, right, and it is structured narratively, I do feel like some people will get out of that a little bit. And not that it'll change their opinion, but, you can't be guided. You can only be told, right? You can't be guided, you can only be told. And then you can still have, like, imagine people bought 2 newspapers, right? You had the one that had all the structural, material, legal changes that happen in your society. Like the shit in your block, all the way to the cubicle in the government and the connection between there, right? And then you had your favorite narrative-based one that takes some of those events that it finds interesting, like the 3, right? Their narrative spin on it, plus a bunch of other non-structural stuff like, like some celebrity shit or like something happened in the street or I don't know. There's right? Until we have that first one, you're gonna be a fucking sheep. You're gonna be a sheep, you're gonna be a fucking bitch,